This is Falcon's Flight, the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster, and I am going to build a huge, working model of the thing. This project was easily one of the hardest things I've ever done, with tons of delays. No! I am putting a coaster out there. This video just got interesting. Falcon's Flight just got announced, and it's crazier than I thought it would be. I've already totally destroyed the old project, and we are going to get right to work on the lift. We're going to power the lift using this drill. It should work. On the old Wild Moose right here, I used a chain to bring it up to where the drill needs to be. This time, I'm going to bring the chain down to ground level, so we don't have more than one chain that can break, so then they have one possible failure point instead of two, which should double the reliability, but I don't think the math works out like that. Alright, let's get to work. This is the system I came up with. You can see how the chain diverts down to have a better grip on the teeth of this gear, and so the drill works better. Anyways, it worked out great. This first lift I've built is tiny in comparison to the rest of the coaster. Just wait, this thing's about to get insane. Up next, I built the drop followed by the airtime hill. This part was pretty self-explanatory, however, I did make my first section. Here's how that works. This hill, but we also made this connection point where I can easily disconnect sections. As you can see, the track segments don't actually use flexies. Both of them are out, and all of these rods can be slid out. So once I slide those out, everything is easily disconnectable. All of these sections are really going to help me when I have to move this coaster outside. Yeah, it's not going to fit in my house. After doing that, I went on to complete all the rest of the elements in this first sequence. I built all the sections in this room right here, but I couldn't fit it, so I had to move all the sections into the hallway and assemble them there. It worked out great, and this is great practice for moving the sections later on. Looking at this animation, we can see how accurate my model is. We've got the airtime hill, that first little turn, and everything in between, including this pretty cool wave turn. I put all the tubing in place, and now that everything was set, it was time to give it its first test. Yeah, this wasn't ideal, but I knew exactly what I needed to do, so I hopped online and ordered a brand new can of WD-40 silicone. This will act as a nice lubricant to get the train through this section. It's safe on plastic, which is perfect for me, and it arrives in 3 days. But in the meantime, I have a couple more things I want to tell you. First up, if this video can get more likes than Falcon's Flight has meters of track, which is 4,300, then I'm gonna build a huge working model of the Phineas and Ferb roller coaster. So like the video and stay tuned for that. Secondly, I needed to order more parts, so I went ahead and ordered 2 more Screamin' Serpents, a roller coaster set that released in the early 2000s, and a huge bulk pack I found on eBay. Normally, I wouldn't be able to afford any of this, but thanks to recent channel success, this has all become possible. And if you've ever watched any of my videos before, you helped build this. And if you want to help with future projects, then just subscribe. That's literally all it takes. I take all the revenue and put it right back into the projects. Anyways, I think the grease is finally here, so let's check it out. Alright, we got a package right here. Sure enough, it was the grease. I took it out, and it was in perfect condition. So I went out and greased the trains. After this, I got it ready for what would probably be its first working test. While that may not look good, I was kind of expecting it. Grease does a lot better after you warm it up and let it dry, so that's exactly what I did. I sent the train back and forth, over and over and over, and then let it sit for about an hour. After that, this happened. And just like that, things were finally going my way, and it was now time to work on the 500-foot airtime hill. The first step of this massive element was to break up all the sections and bring them back into the build room. This massive airtime hill is going to be built on top of all of these elements you're seeing me bring out. After reassembling all of the elements right back into their positions, I got right to work expanding the base and building the structure and base for this huge airtime hill. As I continued building up, I realized I definitely couldn't build this one piece, so I made some sections. Here's the first one. We've got connections here, here, and here. After this, I was running low on pieces, so I had to wait for the parts to come. We've got the new parts. We've got Screaming Serpent, 2 of them, and a bunch more bags of connects. It's been 2 weeks since I've actually touched the project, but things are here again and I want to get back to work. During these 2 weeks I did another video. That was really fun. You should watch it after this. I also finished up a semester of school. So yeah, let's get back to work on Falcon's flight. We're going to start the other side of the giant archway, and then we should be able to top it off, hopefully by the end of this week. Yeah, so funny thing actually, I didn't take any videos of the whole archway being constructed. However, I did take pictures. So let's analyze those. Okay, so first up we have this base. It's pretty similar to the other one and it looks pretty good. Zooming out, we can see I built the exact same tower on the left side on the right. So now they are the same height. Okay, so going on to the next photo, we can see I connected the 2 towers using 2 A-frames. I then brought in the other spines and finished off the tower. Finally. And it looks like this. It's huge. Yeah, some funny little things about this is that the structure is about 1 millimeter away from touching the ceiling, which means I can't even put the track on yet. It does divide into its 3 sections, so I'm planning on running track up both sides, taking off the top section, separating the track, finishing off the track, and then we'll have all the sections ready to go. That's the plan. But in the meantime, let's talk about the tallest part of the ride that goes on top of a giant cliff. When I first decided to take on this project, this was the part I was worried the most about. However, I quickly found a solution. This would have been a pretty big problem for me if I didn't have a balcony to put it on. If you haven't picked up on it already, we're putting this whole coaster outside, and this is the area it'll be in. I couldn't get to work on it quite yet. I had a vacation planned to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. It was awesome, and at some point I want to build Iron Rattler now, so stay tuned for that. By the time I got home, I came back to this. Yeah, it snowed, and I need to work outside for this balcony section for all the measurements and everything, so we're gonna have to work on tracking the airtime hill instead. So that's exactly what I did. I built the lead up into the airtime hill, and as I built up, I realized that the track and the structure can't fit. So I took off the top section, and now it's sitting right here. I then proceeded to finish out the landing on this humongous airtime hill. And now the entire airtime hill was complete. Well, except for this part. We'll reattach that at the end. After that, I went outside to check and see if the snow had let up, but it got worse. We've got multiple inches of snow out instead of just 1. So we'll just get to work on the other parts. And by the other parts, I mean the giant other half of the coaster that goes super far out into this huge turnaround, comes all the way back to the lift hill. Yeah, this is gonna be a while. One of the things I wanted to check was how much speed I have for this thing. So I put the tubing on the track, and here is the first test. In order to build the turn following this drop, I had to detach the section and put it back connected up to the section with the lift hill. I got right to work on this massive turn. It took forever to get the shaping right. I then put all those sections into storage, because I don't need them till I assemble everything outside. I set up the lift hill in this position so I could continue building after that turn. I worked on the low to the ground, elongated airtime hill for a bit, and I tried to do its centerpiece, which looks like this. All the supports are technically there. It doesn't look as good, but I'm gonna keep it for realism. As I finished off the airtime hill, I realized something. We have officially reached 2 months. Yeah, I've been working on this project for 2 months of my life. After 2 months, weird things are happening. For example, I had a weird dream about Falcon's flight the other night where I went and wrote it, but it was in Texas. I don't know what the dream was, it was weird. Anyways, it's been 2 months, and we're more than halfway, I think. Hopefully, we get it done this month. That is a ridiculous goal, I know, but I am gonna try it. I'm gonna get a whole bunch more sets because even though I thought what I bought was enough, it's not. Anyways, let's get back to work, finishing off this airtime hill. I picked up this box, and using it, I was able to finish off that airtime hill and start on the turn. I also worked backwards from the lift hill and got the brake run and some more elements before them done. Now that I've ensured it all goes together smoothly, I detached the lift hill and brake run sections and put them in storage. I built everything except for the turnaround and set it up like this so there's actually room to build it. I also put some other sections in storage. While building the turnaround, I came up with this weird base pattern. It doesn't use a single 7-way connector, which is exactly what I need because I'm running low on those. Anyways, I finally finished the giant turnaround and put some tubing on it so I could do some test runs. After storing that section away, I got right to work on the ascent to the balcony. While I'm building this, I just realized that I'm running low on parts again, so I just purchased 2 more sets, or boxes of Kinects. Even though I have a huge Kinects collection, I'm always surprised every time I buy a set, because usually I find a part I don't have yet. With this lot, I got my first white flexies, red flexi, these 6-sided rods, my first blue tubing, that's really nice. I also got these weird orange ones, not sure what those are for, Ferris wheel seats, and the blue surfing car. This thing got way too big, so I moved it outside. Welcome to me building in 30-degree weather in the middle of the night. Let's do it. I started work on this structure. This should hold up the track all the way up to the balcony from what I've built so far. Alright, so this is how we're going to leave the project today. We got all the way up to the balcony. I did a test, but it actually rolled back. We're going to add another booster around like here to fix that issue. But yeah, everything's going good. We put bags over all the boosters to protect it from the rain that's going to be there tonight. But I'll check back in with you guys tomorrow. It is morning time and it is still actively raining, so we are going to come back to this after school. Alright, so I think it's finally stopped raining, but we're not going to run any of the boosters today because I think they still got wet. Anyways, today we are going to take this track and curve it all the way up, and if everything goes to plan, maybe we'll get it up there by the end of today. Alright, so I've been building for a couple hours now, and I just came back from a 2-hour activity to this. I don't know if you can tell, but it collapsed. Or it fell over. At least this side's still up. Alright, so I think it was the wind. We're getting like about 4 or 5 mile-an-hour winds right now, and if that's what's knocking things over, this thing will not have a very good wind tolerance. But we're gonna break through it and keep working. That night, I had to bring that side inside because it was just getting too windy. This is what I got done though, and it's not as much as I wanted to, but hopefully we can make up for it tomorrow. Alright, so it is the next morning around 5 a.m. and we're gonna check to make sure it didn't fall over because last night was supposed to be a windy night. Let's see. Let's hope it's good. It's standing. You really can't tell? You really can't tell. Just let me get another angle. Look at this. The track is still up. Alrighty, I finally connected those two things, and now we just have to do the drop up on top of there. But right now, I want to show you the test. and show you how this thing rolls back right now and how I can fix it. The current plan is to put another booster around right here. That'll definitely get it to the top, so let's do it. When creating this booster cord, I accidentally got some of the numbers wrong, so I accidentally supercharged it to be absolutely insane. So instead, I'm going to use it for the down drop. Here's the first test though. Most powerful booster I've ever built or reconstructed, test 1. Soon enough, I finally got the last 2 boosters I needed into place. In terms of power, most of my boosters are connected right into this power bank, but I did get a power supply, which is powering some of the more high voltage stuff. I finally finished off the drop, and now all I have left to do is build the elements on top of the cliff. I've got a pretty great setup right now. I brought up tons of sets of connects, and I also have a heater. Now I can be warm and build outside. This is a huge upgrade. As you can see, I woke up early and kept working, and I kept working and kept working until 11 a.m. when I finally finished the layout. Look at this. We're back where we were at the beginning of the video. I finally finished Falcon's flight, and I can't wait to show it to you right now. Here is the last 3 months, or no, 2.5 months of my life. Enjoy. And like the video.
Well, look. Yeah! No! I saved it. That was so close.